Welcome to the Drunken Zombies Podcast, where every day we serve up a fresh, addictive zombie story that'll leave you craving more tales of brains and mayhem. I am Adrian.
And I'm Julia.
Buckle up, because tonight we've got a real humdinger. Get this. Zombies meet psychic powers. It's called The Last of Them, a psychic standoff in the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, we're taking you to a sleepy town called Clairvoyant Creek. Now imagine this. Everyone there has a sixth sense, then boom, the zombie apocalypse hits.
And these folks, they're not just running and hiding.
Right.
They're fighting back with their minds. We're talking mind control, psychic battles, the whole shebang.
So grab your favorite drink, settle in, and get ready for a wild ride, because this story is about to get really interesting.
So Clairvoyant Creek, even before the zombies showed up, this place was a bit off-right, like something out of a Twilight Zone episode.
Totally. The story makes it clear that Clairvoyant Creek has always been a haven for those with a bit of extra sensory perception. It's like psychic abilities were woven into the very fabric of the town, which makes what happens when the zombie outbreak hits even more fascinating.
It's like the zombie apocalypse cranked the town's weirdness up to a whole new level. And then we meet Ellie, the librarian. She seems pretty normal at first, right?
Exactly. Ellie is our window into this world. She starts as a total skeptic. You know, the type, someone who rolls their eyes at the mere mention of psychic powers, which is what makes her journey so compelling.
Yeah.
As she witnesses these incredible events firsthand, even she can't deny the reality of what's happening.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Her transformation makes the whole idea of psychic powers feel more believable to us as listeners, too.
Okay.
So we've got this quirky town and our skeptical librarian, and then this mysterious dude named James just appears out of thin air.
Right. James is like the wild card in the deck. He's this enigmatic newcomer who seems to know a lot more than he lets on, especially about psychic powers. He becomes a guide for Ellie and the townsfolk, almost like he was expecting this whole zombie apocalypse thing to happen.
Okay, that's super intriguing. It definitely makes you wonder, who is this guy?
Yeah.
What's his deal? Is he friend or foe?
The story keeps us guessing about James's true intentions and motivations. He adds a layer of suspense that keeps you hooked. Now let's talk about the townsfolk's initial attempts at using their psychic powers against the zombies. Let's just say things don't exactly go as planned.
Yeah, some of those early scenes are more hilarious than horrifying, right?
Absolutely. There's this one scene where they're trying to use their powers to control the zombies, and they end up making them stumble around like they're drunk. It's both terrifying and laugh out loud funny.
It's a good reminder that even in a zombie apocalypse, there's still room for a bit of humor. But things take a darker turn when they start talking about this psychic network, tapping into ley lines and all that. It's pretty out there stuff.
It is, but it speaks to this fascination we have with the paranormal and the idea of harnessing unseen energies. The psychic network is like a collective consciousness, a way for them to amplify their powers and fight back against whatever is controlling the zombies. It's not just about taking down individual zombies anymore. They're going for the source.
So they're thinking strategically, trying to end the threat once and for all.
Mm-hmm.
But then Mark has that close call. That's when things get real.
Right. Mark's near-death experience is a stark reminder that these powers aren't invincible. They come with risks and consequences, and failure can be deadly. It raises the stakes and reminds us that this is a fight for survival.
It's a far cry from your typical zombie flick where it's all about bashing brains in. This story digs deeper into the potential of the human mind, the power that might lie dormant within us all.
And the potential for that power to be misused. Which brings us to the zombie leader. This isn't just your average mindless walker. This guy is different.
Yeah, he seems to be calling the shots, coordinating the horde. It's like he's the puppet master and the zombies are his puppets.
Exactly. He's intelligent, powerful, and seems to be in control of the outbreak. It makes you wonder, is there some greater force behind all of this? Is he working for someone or something else?
The story does a great job of dropping those breadcrumbs, keeping us on the edge of our seats. Then bam, the psychic bomb twist. That's when the story goes from 0 to 60 in a heartbeat.
That's a major turning point, the psychic bomb. It takes the stakes to a whole new level. We're no longer just dealing with a localized outbreak. It's a potential apocalypse on a global scale.
Okay, so we've got this incredibly powerful weapon in the mix. What makes this psychic bomb so significant in the grand scheme of things?
It forces us to confront some really uncomfortable questions about the nature of power and the responsibility that comes with it. It's no longer just about protecting Clairvoyant Creek. It's about the fate of humanity.
And what about the people wielding this power? How do they grapple with the weight of that responsibility?
That's a question the story explores in a really thought-provoking way. It highlights the tension between individual survival and the greater good.
It makes you think about real-world parallels, too, the ethical dilemmas we face with advanced technology and weapons of mass destruction.
Absolutely. The psychic bomb becomes a symbol of the awesome power we have as humans, and the potential for that power to be used for both good and evil.
This is getting deep.
Yeah.
But let's not forget, we're also dealing with a horde of flesh-eating zombies.
Right. It's this unique blend of horror suspense and philosophical exploration that makes this story so compelling. It's not just about surviving the zombies, it's about confronting the darkness within ourselves and the choices we make when faced with unimaginable power.
So how does this all play out in the final showdown? What happens when Ellie, James, and the townsfolk go head-to-head with the zombie horde in this ticking psychic time bomb?
Well, that's where things get really intense. Buckle up, because we're about to take a deep dive into the heart of the story.
I'm ready. Hit me with it.
The final showdown is a whirlwind of psychic energy and zombie mayhem. Ellie really steps up. She's determined to protect her town and the people she loves. And James is right there with her, supporting her every step of the way.
It's like they become this psychic power couple, right? Taking on a whole army of the undead, and that psychic bomb is ticking away in the background. It's talking pressure.
Yeah, the author does a really amazing job of painting a picture of this psychic battle. You can practically see Ellie and James straining to contain the bomb's energy while they're simultaneously fending off waves of zombies. It's a visual feast.
I can imagine. It's like a scene straight out of a superhero movie, but with a lot more blood and guts. So how do they manage to pull it off? What's the key to their success?
I think it's a combination of Ellie's raw determination and James's experience and guidance. He helps her to focus her abilities and tap into a power she didn't even know she had.
So it's not just about brute force, it's about strategy and teamwork, kind of like a psychic ballet.
Exactly. And as they're battling the horde and trying to disarm the bomb, another twist gets thrown into the mix. The government shows up.
Oh man, talk about bad timing. It's like they finally overcome one obstacle and then boom, another one pops up.
It's a brilliant move by the author. It injects a dose of realism into the story and forces us to ask, how would authorities react to people with these kinds of abilities? Would they try to control them, exploit them, or even eliminate them?
It's a chilling thought, especially in today's world, where personal freedom and privacy are constantly under threat.
Right. The story doesn't shy away from these uncomfortable questions. It makes us think about the potential consequences of unchecked power, whether it's psychic abilities or government control.
So it's not just a fun zombie story, it's a commentary on society, on the delicate balance between individual liberty and the need for order.
Absolutely. It makes you wonder, if psychic powers were real, would we be better off with them or without them?
That's a question I don't think anyone has the answer to, but it's definitely something worth pondering.
And that's what makes this story so engaging. It's not just about entertainment, it's about sparking a conversation, making us think about the world around us in a new way.
I love how this episode has turned into a philosophical deep dive. It's not what I expected, but I'm totally here for it. So what are some of the key takeaways from this psychic zombie extravaganza?
Well, first and foremost, it reminds us that even in the darkest of times, hope can emerge. Ellie's journey is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Even when faced with unimaginable horrors, we can find the strength to fight back.
That's a powerful message, and one that's especially relevant in today's world.
It also highlights the importance of community. Ellie wouldn't have survived without the support of the other townsfolk. They came together, pooled their resources and their abilities to overcome a common enemy.
That's a good reminder that we're stronger together than we are alone.
And lastly, the story serves as a cautionary tale about the nature of power. It can be used for good, but it can also be corrupted and abused. It's a reminder that we need to be vigilant to hold those in power accountable and to fight for a world where power is used responsibly for the benefit of all, not just the few.
Those are some heavy themes, but they're woven so seamlessly into this action-packed zombie story. It's a masterclass in storytelling.
I agree. The author manages to entertain, engage, and provoke thought all at the same time.
So what's the final verdict on the last of them? A psychic standoff in the zombie apocalypse. Would you recommend it to our listeners?
Absolutely. It's a wild ride from start to finish with twists and turns that will keep you guessing until the very end. It's a must-read for fans of zombie fiction, supernatural thrillers, and anyone who enjoys a good mind-bending story.
Well said. I think our listeners will be racing to add this one to their reading lists.
I have no doubt.
And on that note, I think it's time to wrap things up for tonight.
Agreed.
So there you have it, folks. A town full of psychics, a zombie horde, a mysterious stranger, a psychic bomb, and the government lurking in the shadows.
Yeah, it's a wild mix of horror, suspense, and social commentary that'll really get you thinking.
This story definitely left me with a few questions. Like, what if we all had psychic powers? Would we use them responsibly? Would we just end up causing more chaos? You know?
Those are some big questions, and honestly, I don't know if there are any easy answers, but that's what makes the story so fascinating. It forces us to confront the unknown, to grapple with the possibilities and the potential consequences.
It's kind of like holding up a mirror to ourselves, making us question what we would do in such extreme circumstances.
Exactly. And that's what good storytelling does. It challenges our assumptions, expands our horizons, and leaves us with more questions than answers.
It's like a delicious brain snack. Only instead of munching on gray matter, we're feasting on ideas and pondering the mysteries of the universe.
Well put. And I think that's a perfect note to end on.
I agree. So until next time, keep those brains sharp and watch out for those zombies. You never know when they might be lurking around the corner.
Sweet dreams. And don't forget to rate and follow the Drunken Zombies podcast. We're dying to have you back for more tales of brains and mayhem.